Hello my fellow riders, this is Chris at Riding Reviews, and today we're going to be looking at the Keeway RKR 125cc Euro 4 motorbike. Now, as you can see, we're standing next to the white RKR 125cc Euro 4 motorbike, and this bike will soon no longer be available for you to purchase because Keeway are stopping doing it. So this one is probably the last one you're going to see for a while, other than second-hand models. But I thought just before I can't actually get hold of any of these before, I will do a video on it, just so you can see full prosperity what they were. Apparently Keeway are still going to be doing the RKF version, just not the RKR. Now we're going to do this the same way we normally do: spec, design, comfort, cost of riding, pros and cons, and there will be a test ride in this video as well at the end. So we'll do a short test ride and then I will upload the full test ride later on. So we'll start this off by spec. It says on the Keeway website that it has 5 gears. This is actually incorrect, and it does come with 6. And the same with the RKR and the RKF, they both have 6 gears. Now I did tell Keeway this, but they haven't updated it yet. And the other typo on their computer is that it says that it's got 12.6 horsepower. This is actually incorrect as well, it's got 12.06. So I've done a little bit of research and this is what it comes out for. Now this has the Benelli derived engine, and it has 3 spark plugs. It has a double overhead cam engine, and it is a 4-stroke as well. So the reason why they put 3 spark plugs in it is so that they can lean out the mixture a little bit and make it so that it has a better burn, a higher performance burn, and cleaner emissions. So the engine is good for Euro 5, they just aren't bringing it out in this model. It might be because it wasn't as popular as, say, the RKF, which was extremely popular. Comes with 17-inch wheels on the front, hydraulic brakes front and back, and they are combined, and that is to comply with the Euro 4 specifications. It is a semi-naked bike, whereas the RKF is similar sort of thing, but it has slightly more panels and it's a slightly different riding position. The seat height on this is 790 millimeters. The rear one is 1100. This bike can take 2 people. You will lose a bit of the performance, but it can in theory take 2 people. Design. As I said before, this is made in the same factory as the Benellis. It is a Benelli derived engine, and it is one of their Benelli 3 spark plug engines. So you have that to go with this. It comes in 3 different colors, which I believe is white, black and green, I think it is. There will be pictures in the description anyway, so that you can see the colors. That being said, it is a very, very well put together bike. Everything has its place. The wires have proper running areas where they're supposed to be, and they have little lugs on the frame so that you can hook it over and make sure that the plugs are in the right place. It also has a very large distance in between the mirrors, so you should be able to get the full use out of your mirrors. LED front lights, LED rear lights, all the indicators are LED. And the display has an analog speedo with a digital rev counter, time, what gear you're in, what the temperature is, and a trip meter. Comfort. Now again, because this is a Benelli bike, they have been putting Benelli derived bike. It's not a Benelli bike, but because it was designed from Benelli, obviously their research and development team have been putting a lot of effort and emphasis on comfort and look and all that sort of stuff. So the suspension is really good. It has telescopic forks on the back and oil dampered shocks on the back as well. So yes, the suspension is fairly hard, but the dampening is good, so you're not going to get like massive shocks when you go over speed bumps and stuff like that. It is designed to do exactly what it is. You don't want it too bouncy, but it has enough spring or sprung, or whatever you want to call it, to make it so that it's a comfortable ride. Your riding position is over a little bit. Me personally, I don't mind this bike. I could probably ride it for 45 minutes without having too much of an issue with it. The RKF is more up like this, the RKR is more down like this. This is more to what you would like, rather than, I don't know, some people like the lean over bikes, some people like the set-up bikes. Me personally, I like the set-up bikes. Cost of riding. So this bike is £2,399 plus £100 on the road. For your tax, you should be looking at about £20 a year for tax. Your first year's tax comes free, and then after, obviously, it's £20 a year. Your first 3 years MOT are exempt, so any new vehicle you do not have to have an MOT. And insurance for a 17-year-old, obviously depending on lots of different factors, i.e. where you live, how, where you're storing the bike, what you're using it for, all this sort of thing. But on an average, for third-party fire and theft, using the bike for commuting to and from work, you should be looking at £350 to £500. Obviously, if you're in London, that's going to be considerably more. If you're up in the other end of the country, it will be quite a lot less. Obviously, it's down to crime rates, how many accidents in your area and all this sort of stuff. At the minute, because not many people are using their vehicles, insurance has actually dropped a little bit. If you do want to get insurance, there is a link in the description for BikeSure, and they are usually quite good on their prices. If you do get insurance with them, Riding Reviews gets a little bit of a kickback, and that always helps with my channel. So let's talk about pros and cons with this bike. Obviously, it is a racing-ish sort of bike. You will be able to get somewhere in the region of 60 miles an hour brand new. It should creep up a little bit more to that 65 miles an hour to 70 miles an hour once you've run it in. Obviously, it's not a full out-and-out commuter bike, so you're not going to have the capability of getting a back rack because there isn't anything to get. So they don't do a luggage rack for this bike. You can have pillion bags over the back, but that's down to you, really. So yes, you can commute on this bike. It is not designed to be a commuter bike. It's more of a fun bike. It's your bike. You do whatever you like with it. It has a steel exhaust system, so later on in life you may find that there may be discoloration and a little bit of rust on there. If you look after it, clean it, and it won't rust. If you don't look after it and go out in salty weather and don't clean it after that, then chances are you will get a little bit of rust on there in the future. But it's easy to sort out. You take it off, clean it down, respray it with exhaust paint. Don't use normal paint because it will just burn off. The panels on this are really, really well put together, and we know people that have actually fallen off of these, and the bike is still in one piece. It has scuffs, obviously, because you fell off, but it is still in one piece. It is very tough and tidy bike. Obviously, you can get a cheaper bike than this. Say the RKS, for instance, that would be, I think they're £2,000 on the road. You get, to a certain extent, what you pay for. This is a better bike than the RKS. It has a better engine, it has an extra gear, and that always helps with when you're doing the more motorway miles rather than commuting short distances. So we're going to go on to the test ride. We're going to do a short journey on that. As I said, this will be a short test ride, and I will upload the full test ride later on. Reason being is the full test ride is 20 minutes long, so I add some music, add some whatever, make it a little bit more entertaining for you. So thank you for watching my video on the RKR 125cc Euro 4 bike designed by Benelli. Now, if you've liked my video, hit that thumbs up because that really helps the YouTube algorithm promote my video to other people, and the bigger my channel gets, the more diversity of bikes we will be able to do. So let's get that up, let's get working on it, and hopefully in the future we will be big enough to be able to do every bike, because people will be chucking them at me saying, review. But anyway, I digress. So thank you for watching my video. Subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay updated to all my latest content. So up here we're going to have some more videos on the Keeways, and down here we're going to have whatever YouTube decides is best for you. But hit that subscribe button to stay updated to all my latest content. And as always, ride safe.